Need LASIK? Trust the experienced team at the LASIK Center at Evergreen Eye Center. No glasses, no contacts, no limits. What will you do? LASIK at evergreen.com.
You miss the magic of these good old days.
Moving 92.5. Brooke and Jubal's second date update.
It's been a long time since we've gotten an email for a second date update like the one we got today.
Okay.
Really?
Why?
It's one of those dates that is just ridiculous.
Oh, gosh.
His name is Trevor. He's on the phone, and he wants to call a girl named Jessie. And Trevor, I read your email. What is wrong with you?
What? What do you mean what's wrong with me?
What are you doing?
What did he do? What did you do, Trevor?
Everything.
What's wrong?
Wait.
You did everything. What could you possibly do on a second date now that you've done what you've done, Trevor?
Oh.
What? I mean, that first date was perfect. That's what I do.
Oh, my gosh, Trevor.
Man, you got to hear what Trevor's date included. Go ahead, Trevor.
I'm excited.
I'll just give you the floor and let you tell everybody what you've gotten yourself into.
Okay. So I met this girl sort of randomly in the park, and I sort of walked up to her. She was reading a book that I recognized, and I introduced myself, and then I asked her if she wanted to go out. So I gave her this address to meet me, and we met in the countryside, and it was a hot air balloon.
Wait, what?
Whoa!
Okay,
Wait,
so-
did she know? Wait, did she know that that's what you were doing, or was she just randomly showing up at this address?
Well, she didn't know. Like, it was a surprise, you know?
Oh, what if she's scared of heights?
Yeah, and what she's driving out into like the country by just to an address to meet you? That's bold.
Yeah.
I mean, she knew it was safe. Nothing was going to happen.
Oh, my God.
I
What was
hope
her
so.
reaction when she pulled up and saw a hot air balloon?
I mean, she sort of gasped and said, "Are we really doing this?" Or,
And wait, was it just a hot air balloon for just you two, or were you guys on a group thing like they do?
no, it was just us. It was just us.
Oh, you read the whole thing.
Trevor.
man.
It was like a whole trip over the countryside, and you could see everything.
What? Are you like taking your date ideas from The Bachelor?
Let's see,
or
that's what I'm
something?
saying.
Like, dude,
That gets already too much, but there's more.
What else did you do, Trevor?
When we landed, I had rented out this castle.
Excuse me, what?
Shut up.
Where were you guys? London?
I was picturing the south of France, personally.
There are castles in America. You just, if you have the means to rent a castle, then you go to a castle.
You just got an air balloon
Man.
to them. That's it.
Yeah, I guess that's just how you have to do it.
What did you rent the castle out for?
So here's where it got really good, right? We go into the castle, and I had hired a chef.
Oh,
And
my
so
God.
he cooked us this meal. It was a big, like, 5-course meal. It was really romantic, right? There were candles and everything. It was a big long table, and there was music.
There was a
and
talking candlestick. Beauty and the Beast.
it was really nice. And there was a violin player.
What?
Oh, my God.
Dude.
It's like a wedding,
What do you
dude.
do for a living, Trevor? My God.
Makes hella money.
Okay, so anyway, so we ate the
No,
meal.
Trevor, I want to know what you have to tell us.
Yeah.
You just pause like that. This date is ridiculous. What do you do for a living?
I mean, I don't want to talk about that right now. I want to talk about
Are
the
you
meal, right?
hiring? Are you hiring? That's all I'm asking.
Right?
I don't know. Can you drive a hot air balloon? I might think about hiring you then.
Dude, I'm down. It sounds like you probably pay me more than I get paid here, so I'm good.
Oh, man.
But slow down. You're like having this 12-course dinner inside a castle with a violin player and an orchestra.
Well, technically there were 2 violin players. One was a cello player. but-
Okay.
Oh.
Well, details.
Cool.
Hey, was she freaked out by this, or was she into it?
No, she seemed really into it. I mean, like, what kind of girl wouldn't be into that? I was going to sweep her off her feet, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you could have done that with just a hot air balloon ride.
Yeah, I'm with you on that
Let
one,
alone the
Jubal.
castle and the chef and the however many course meal and people playing stringed instruments.
Okay, but here's the thing. I don't meet a lot of girls who seem like they're amazing. They could be the right girl for me, you know what I mean? And so Jessie, she was that, right? So I got to sweep her off her feet. She was it, you know what I mean?
Wow.
Okay, so you liked her that much after just seeing her reading a book in the park.
When you know, you know.
Wow.
Okay, wait, hold
Damn,
on.
she could
Whoa.
read.
Whoa. So, Trevor, what was the connection between you two? Because we've heard a lot of details about what you did on your date, but not a lot about, like, what it was like.
Well, I told you already. There was like the 5-course meal and the violin players, and that's what was going on.
No.
Trevor.
It's like
Like,
chemistry.
was there butterflies? Did you guys flirt?
Did you rent butterflies
Yeah.
to have flown in?
Basically, yeah.
Well, I didn't think of that exactly. But, like, everything else, you know what I mean? There was, like, fancy silverware, you know what I mean?
Trevor!
We get it, bro.
No. Did you guys have any deeper connection?
Yeah, I mean, the conversation was great, but the views from the castle were great, too, and from the hot air balloon.
Okay.
Castle. She was loving it. I mean, we didn't talk about personal stuff all that much because there was so much going on around us, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, how are you gonna talk about personal stuff when you got a cellist in your ear?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, right?
And so if the date was so amazing, you did all this work, spent probably a lot of money, why do you think she's not calling you back?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I invited her up to go up, to the top of one of the turrets. Where you could see, it was in the middle of the day, so you could see everything. And she said no. And I thought maybe, you know what I mean? I wasn't going to make a move on her or anything. I just wanted her to see the view. But maybe she thought that was kind of creepy. I don't know.
Did you guys kiss?
No, we didn't kiss because, I'm a gentleman.
Of course.
I don't want to take things too fast.
Yeah, obviously
Right.
not.
Yeah, no.
Yo, that wasn't too fast at all, Trevor.
Totally.
Yeah,
I think we
we'll
need
take
to
it
have a-
nice and slow. We'll
Yeah.
start with a hot air balloon ride to a private castle with a 5-course meal and a band playing.
Oh, Trevor.
So no kiss, and have you heard anything from her since your elaborate date?
No, I haven't heard a word. And, I called her a few times. I haven't heard back at all.
It may have been too much,
Like, too much? Like, what do you mean too much?
Like too much, too soon. You do this huge display.
I think Jose's right. I think you may have read what women want a little wrong. Like, yes, women want that. That sounds magical. But what they want more than anything is to get to know a really nice person who makes them feel special just talking.
Okay, but, like, I think if you saw the castle, you might feel differently.
Well, Trevor, that may be what women want. I know what I want, and if it doesn't work out for you, you could take me on these kind of trips. It'd be cool.
Let's do it.
All right,
Yeah,
sweet,
okay.
perfect. Okay, bro date. We'll take a bro hot air balloon ride. Anyway, we'll play a song, come back, and then call her and get your second date update, okay?
All right.
All right, man, hang on.
Moving 92.5. Brooke and Jubal in the mornings. Second date update.
I don't even feel like I should start the second part of today's second date update by being like, and we're back with the second part of the second date update. I think I should probably just say, welcome back to The Bachelor.
Right?
Because that's exactly what the date was like that Trevor, who's on the phone for a second date update, took Jessie on. She was whisked away on a hot air balloon ride. They flew over a forest to a castle in the hills that he had rented out. There was a chef that cooked them a 5-course meal.
This is insane.
He even had a violinist and a cellist. Celloist. Somebody was having a celloism in there. And they had an amazing afternoon, and at the end of the night, she got in her car and drove off and has never talked to him again. So it was a romantic evening. He definitely put a lot of work into it.
He's not getting a rose.
And he did not get a rose. That's right. So, Trevor, are you ready to give Jessie a call and find out why, even with everything that you did on your first date, she's not calling you back?
Yeah, let's do it. I want to know why.
I don't think you should be shocked if she says that she didn't get to know you at all, because it sounds like maybe you got lost in the date yourself, sir.
Well, I would think I definitely impressed her, you know what I mean?
And that's why we hope to get you a second date so that she can get to know you when you're whisked away to beautiful Ibiza on your own private jet. Except you'll pay for it. We don't have that budget.
Oh my
to do
God.
that.
We
But-
can't do that.
And by your third date, you guys are going to have to go to like Mars or something at the rate this is going.
Oh, I've got it all planned out.
Okay.
Okay.
Trevor, well, I'm going to call her right now and see if we can just get you one more date, okay?
Yeah, I appreciate that. This girl, she's the one, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Whoa.
Well, we'll find out if she is, in fact, the one in the next episode of The Bachelor.
Okay. You can't stop, can
I
you?
can't stop it.
No.
I got
Yeah.
the Bachelor music and I can't put it down.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I'm going to call her right now. Here we go.
Hello?
Hi, is this Jessie?
Yeah, speaking.
Hey, Jessie, how are you? This is Jubal from Brooke and Jubal in the Morning, the radio show.
Okay.
Are you familiar at all?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
What station are you on?
That's not even important. What's important is that we
Why
got
are you calling me?
well, we got an email about you from one of our listeners, and that's why I'm calling.
Can you tell me why?
I sure can. Thank you for asking. It's a guy named Trevor. And you and Trevor went out on a date recently. Very low-key kind of thing.
Yeah, right.
Where you took a hot air balloon to a castle and had a private dinner. I don't know if you remember that because that's kind of a forgetful thing.
Well, maybe you have to specify which one, right?
Yeah, which castle?
Yeah, which castle.
No, I remember Trevor. Yeah.
Okay, well,
Good.
Trevor emailed us and is wondering why you're not calling him back.
I mean, I just didn't think it was a good idea for us to go out again.
What did you think of that date?
I mean, it was crazy. It was a once-in-a-lifetime experience, for sure.
Yeah.
Good crazy? Was it good crazy?
It was okay. Yeah, it wouldn't have.
Wow.
It wasn't a problem for me.
I wouldn't expect a review of a date that involved a hot air balloon ride to a castle and a private 5-course meal okay.
Well, it's kind of weird, you know. Like you said, it doesn't happen every time, so it's unusual.
Well, what did you think of Trevor?
Same as the date, unusual.
Okay.
Okay, so date was unusual. He was unusual.
Yeah.
Wait, that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah, but you stood out.
Right, he could be unique.
Yes, unique.
I still
You don't
feel
even
I mean,
want to,
he told you about the date.
He told us about it. Yeah, we talked to him about it, and he told us, everything he did for you. He said that he had a great time, and he's really surprised why you don't want to see him again.
I mean, did he tell you about the suit of armor?
The what?
The suit of armor.
No, he left
Nope.
that detail out.
Yeah, while we were eating dinner, he asked me if I wanted to see something cool. So I said yeah, and he left and came back in a full suit of armor,
What?
flanking around.
Dude, that's amazing.
Oh my god.
Okay, I'm excited about that. Like that, I'm super excited about that. But I have a feeling you weren't as excited as I am.
Why? Why would he do that?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he said it was one of his dreams, to be a knight.
Oh my God.
That's amazing.
What was your reaction?
Well, I thought it was kind of cool, but then he sat down. He tried to sit down back to his meal, but he just looked so uncomfortable.
He
And
was actually sitting there. I thought maybe he was like, "You want to see something cool?" And then he got in the suit of armor, and was like prancing around, and then got out of it. He sat down at the table in a suit of armor.
Oh my God. I just imagine you sitting next to this guy in a suit of armor. It's like squeaking every time he tries to lift his fork to his mouth.
and the mask kept sliding down over his face, so he had to push it up to get the food in his mouth.
Oh man, not a very noble night that you got to have dinner with that evening.
At least it was some entertainment for the date.
Is that what did him in then? The night, dressing up like a knight.
I mean, I could get past that. It was funny. It was a silly thing. But we had a conversation about how amazing this date was and how he can afford to do all this stuff. And he told me that he recently inherited a bunch of money.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
Okay, so he's rich.
Well, that's what I thought at first. But then he told me that his inheritance was $15,000.
What?
He sounds like a millionaire.
Wait, hold up. Did he just spend his whole inheritance on the first date with you?
That's what I'm worried about.
Oh.
So wait, so he's acting like he's balling out of control, but he got a $15,000 inheritance.
Yeah. And he basically said that he just wanted to live it up for now and do all this crazy stuff he dreamed about and didn't really care about saving
dear.
anything for the future.
Grandma leaves you 15 grand. You're like, I've always wanted to be a knight. Time to make it happen.
Yeah.
Why didn't you tell him that? I mean, when he's calling you.
I mean, it's none of my business what he does with his money, how he spends his inheritance, but I just don't want to be with someone who would spend it that way, really.
So you don't see a guy who's willing to spend his $15,000 inheritance just so he can dress up in a suit of armor as like a long-term commitment type person?
No.
Not a keeper.
Okay, well, I'll let him know then. Actually, you know what? You can let him know because he's on the other line listening and wants to talk to you.
What?
Yeah. Sir Trevor, dost thou still occupy the phone line?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, Trevor.
I mean, I wanted to pull out all the stops, Jesse. You know what I mean? I don't meet girls like you very often.
Oh. I mean, I don't know what to say. I really appreciate that, but it seems like such a waste.
No, but it wasn't a waste, Jesse, because every single thing I did at the castle with the hot air balloon, it was all for you, my maiden.
Nice.
I really appreciate that so much, but I just felt so bad that you spent all of that on me. It doesn't make any sense. We don't really know each other that well.
But I want to get to know you, you know what I mean? And you deserved it, all of it.
Whoa.
I don't know what to say.
You can say we'll go on a second date.
Slow
Yeah,
down,
you could
Tiger.
Say that, Jesse, if you want.
I know you like me, and it's really sweet, but I can't wrap my head around spending that kind of money on that date. It seems crazy to me.
Are you trying to? Was it too much? Is that?
Oh my God,
I
how
think
are
that's
you
what she's
just
saying, yes.
now getting that, Trevor? It's all too much.
But you loved it. I thought you loved it, and I have the money to pay for it, so it's fine.
I mean, you do right now, but you can't just spend your money like it's nothing. It just goes against my own values, and I feel like it says something about you.
That I'm romantic.
I don't.
Yes, I think that's what she was going
Yeah,
with.
maybe a little
Trevor.
too romantic,
Yeah.
Trevor. Like out of your price range, romantic. You know?
If we just had a normal date, go out to dinner, I would definitely be on board for a second date. But that whole situation was just so crazy, and I don't know if I can, get over that.
What about a normal dinner then? We can go out for a normal dinner for our second date because, I mean, I can't really afford much else right now anyway. So.
You spent all the money. All right. Well, thanks for setting that up, Trevor. Jesse, would you like to go out with Trevor one more time for another date? We will pay for it.
He just doesn't seem that responsible. For the future, I want to be with someone who can handle whatever money they have responsibly.
Mm-hmm.
And Trevor, I don't think that's you.
Okay, but listen, I have something to tell you. That inheritance that I got, right, that was only from one relative. And I have another relative who will probably be passing away within the next year.
Whoa. Another 15 grand coming your way.
Oh
Oh my
my
God,
God.
this just keeps getting worse.
Are you
just
sure?
waiting for your relative to die?
Dude, listen. So you got to get your money somehow. Jesse, are you sure? Because Trevor will be in the money again soon.
I'm even more sure than I was before.
I think that you're making probably the right decision.
I think so too.
Yeah, Trevor. Oh.
I don't know. I'm just really disappointed about this whole thing, Jesse. I mean, I get it. You don't like castles.
No.
Yep, that's it.
I don't think that's the whole issue.
Brooke and Jubal in the morning.
Text in at 78592 says, and that's how people go bankrupt after they win the lottery.
Oh my
Brooke and
God.
Jubal in the morning, talking about today's second date update. If you missed it, Trevor wanted to call Jesse. She wasn't calling him back after their extravagant date that included a hot air balloon ride, dinner at a castle where he even dressed up in a suit of armor.
And sat down and ate the entire dinner in the armor.
That's pretty cool.
I
It's
mean, that's
pretty sweet.
dedication to.
Yeah.
Child in me,
Yeah.
I want to do that very badly. But the reason she wasn't calling back was because he spent a ton of money on that date.
Yeah.
And it was money that he got in inheritance. A big, huge inheritance, according to him. $15,000. Pretty much spent it all on the date. And she just didn't really think he makes the best decisions.
Yeah.
Which is too bad because, like he brought up, he's got other relatives that are going to die.
Yeah.
So he's got more dates that he can do for you.
What a terrible
Money
retirement plan.
in
Yeah.
the bank.
Oh my God. And,
Aging relatives that have some cash. Money in the bank.
and I guarantee if any of his relatives find out about what he did, he's written out of
Yeah.
every will.
Not
yeah,
getting the
no.
money.
Mm-mm.
So she didn't want to go out with him again, and Trevor will have to wait until someone else dies to go on a date, I guess. Remember, if you want to do a second date update, just email the show, and we will call the person who didn't call you back.
Move at 92.5.
It is the radio segment that doesn't consider itself a radio segment. It
Oh.
considers itself a performance artist.
Oh.
Laser Stories. Segment where we read weird news stories from around the globe just like everybody else does, except we have a laser and those other numbskulls don't. This first laser story is out of Newark, California. The other night, a group of dudes were at a pizza place and one of them couldn't find their phone. They assumed somebody in a different group of dudes at another table took it. So they got into an argument, and then, of course, a massive brawl broke out.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Perfect solution, guys. Perfect solution.
Yeah, duke it out.
At least 20 people started fighting in the restaurant,
Oh my God.
and the police had to come break it up.
Uh-huh.
And once it was finally over, they figured out what happened to the missing phone.
Uh-huh.
It turns out a waiter found it on the floor and put it in the restaurant's lost and found. But again, who's thinking of looking the lost and found, right? If you lose something at a restaurant, you instantly look at the table next to you like, I know they stole it.
Yeah, hey,
Yeah.
jerks.
Yeah.
Fortunately,
The waiter, that's such an awkward news to deliver for him. Like, guys, anybody listening to me?
just in the black iPhone?
I
Yep.
have it.
Fortunately, there were only minor injuries from the fight, and both groups of dudes apologized and then hugged it out,
Are you serious?
and no arrests were made.
Yeah.
Dude, if I was the group of guys that got attacked, I don't know that I'd be hugging it out. I'd still
sorry,
be
bro.
pissed. Yeah, like what?
Oh, I'm sorry, dude.
Yeah.
You know how it is, bro. You lose your phone, you kind of lose your head at the same time. Come, bring it in. Let's bring it in.
Oh my gosh,
Daps.
men.
This next laser story is out of the friendly skies. There's a guy named Ryan Williams who just did what we've all dreamed of doing to fight baggage fees. He was flying from Iceland back to London last week, and he didn't want to pay the $65 fee to check a bag.
Yeah, seriously, because how much is he already paying for his flight?
Yeah,
Like,
I know.
you can't include the bag.
So he put on 8 pairs of pants and 10 shirts and tried to get on the plane. Put on all his clothes.
Good for him.
Oh my God.
That has to be so hot.
Can you fit in a seat
Oh
even?
my
Unfortunately for
God.
him, the agents at the gate figured out what he was doing, and they told him that he couldn't fly like that.
Why?
So he tried to get on a different airline, but they also stopped him. So what happened next? Ryan wound up getting a refund for his ticket and eventually flew home on a third airline. No word on whether they made him pay to check his stuff or not.
Oh my
Why
God.
aren't you allowed to do that? That's ridiculous.
I don't. Yeah, I would.
I have no idea. Yeah. This next laser story is out of Wayne, New Jersey. A 35-year-old guy named Angus Janney was speeding and swerving the other night, so the cops pulled him over. Angus was slurring his speech and making strange hand movements, so the cops knew he was on something. They just weren't sure what it was. And that's when they spotted a strange-looking bottle in his hand. So, what was in the random bottle?
Liquor.
Was it alcohol? Nope.
Glue. Was it glue?
Was it drugs?
Probably.
Sort of.
Okay.
If you guessed over-the-counter mood enhancement medicine for his cat, then you'd be correct.
For his
What? I have so many questions. Like, they have that for cats. Why does he have it?
Angus had been chugging something called catnip cocktail, which is a drink for cats that's supposed to help them with their anxiety.
So wait, if it makes a whole human strung out by taking this stuff, should we be giving it to cats?
Well, there's a warning on the label that says it's not safe for people, and Angus was charged with driving while intoxicated and reckless driving. And the strangest thing about the whole story is that Angus doesn't even own a cat.
Huh.
Oh my God.
I feel like Angus is just going to start a new trend for teens, and they're going to
Yeah.
have to lock that stuff up in
There
every
you go,
drugstore
yeah.
you go into.
Catnip cocktail challenge
Yep.
on Instagram. This next laser story is out of Australia. A 73-year-old beet farmer named Jim Gippsland was riding his motorbike last month looking for grasshoppers on his farm when he hit a divot and went flying over the handlebars.
Whoa.
Ouch.
He landed on his head and broke his neck.
Ooh.
Oh my
Ouch.
God.
I hear
Okay.
that hurts.
Yeah.
And when he realized he was still alive, he knew he had to get himself home so he could call for help. Because of his broken neck, though, his head wouldn't stay up.
Of course.
He
I
grabbed
think there's other. You okay?
He's like a newborn baby.
I'm
Yeah.
like, because of his broken neck, he was screaming in pain. I don't know.
So he grabbed his long hair to hold his head up straight, got back on his bike, and drove himself more than a quarter of a mile back to his
No
house in
way.
excruciating pain.
Hooray! Can you
Okay.
imagine that?
I'm kind of scared of him.
Yeah, the next time I'm bawling because I stubbed my toe, I'm going to think of this dude.
Yeah, think of the beet farmer.
Then he called for help once he got back to the house. He was taken to the hospital where they found he had 2 fractured vertebrae. He had surgery and now is expected to make a full recovery. But really, he probably didn't even need to go to the
Right.
hospital. Somebody like that could probably do the surgery on themselves. He's
I'm
just fine.
surprised he didn't.
Yep. This next laser story is out of Fast Food Central.
Yay!
KFC is famous for having phenomenal gravy.
Oh yeah,
Mm,
really
yeah.
good.
And that's why the company has decided to branch out with the gravy cocktail game.
Oh,
Wait a minute, whoa.
I didn't understand this.
What?
Explain.
KFC just released 3 cocktail recipes that use their gravy as an ingredient. So there you go. You can finally drink gravy.
No.
And no, I was going to say not feel guilty about it. You should still feel guilty if you're drinking gravy. But you can finally drink the KFC gravy. Number 1 on their cocktail list is a Bloody Mary called the Gravy Mary that uses vodka, 1 ounce of KFC gravy, tomato juice, and Tabasco.
I'd say don't knock it till you try it. A little salty. That sounds pretty good.
You're also encouraged to garnish it with KFC's popcorn chicken.
Yeah.
Of course.
KFC cocktail number 2 is a drink called the Southern Twist that uses bourbon, black pepper, brown sugar, and 2 full ounces of gravy.
That one at least sounds better than the first one.
Then a Bloody Mary with a little gravy in it?
Yeah, because there's vodka and gravy. I could see
Bloody
bourbon and
Marys
gravy.
are like a salad in an alcoholic
Yeah.
drink.
No,
Why
but
not?
gravy doesn't belong on salad.
But maybe the weirdest
Gravy
one of all,
belongs on everything. That's your problem.
maybe the weirdest one of all is called the Finger Lickin' Sour.
Okay, I don't like sour in with that.
Uses cherry liqueur, lemon juice, orange marmalade, and an egg white, and over 3 ounces
Oh my
of
God.
KFC gravy.
Drink the gravy
Yeah.
already.
Why use the alcohol as an excuse to drink the gravy? If you want to drink gravy that bad, just order some and chug it.
Because you have to numb the pain, because that's a sad existence if you're actually drinking gravy.
A KFC spokesperson said, quote, "We know our gravy is good enough to drink, so what better ingredient to take cocktails to the next level?"
Yeah, I would like to see that person do it first.
Many people online suggested that whoever is currently running the promotions at KFC right now is legally insane.
Yeah. Or drunk.
This next laser story is out of the land of jobs. A new study surveyed people in a bunch of different industries to find out which jobs make us the happiest.
Oh.
And 3 of the top 5 are glamour jobs that have at least some level of fame. The 5 jobs with the highest satisfaction rate are video game producer.
Ooh, that'd be so fun.
That'd be an awesome job.
Yeah.
Film director.
Cool.
That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, impressive though.
Music producer.
Okay, awesome.
Yep,
Yeah.
all those guys make millions of dollars, all of them.
No, they don't. Very
All of
few
them, every single one.
Music
Every single one.
producers.
Yep.
Yeah,
My
but the
friend-
thing is, those are dream jobs. Like, it's actually like you're living your dream,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, totally. You have a big opportunity for
Yeah.
Neurosurgeon is another one.
those.
That one takes a lot of work.
And comedian.
Hey, look at us,
So
bro.
wait, neurosurgeons and all the comedians I know are depressed.
That's
but,
what I was going to say. Yeah,
that's
like,
true.
I know, look, doing comedy, I know a lot of comedians.
Yeah, lots of them.
And I think I know 3 that are legitimately happy.
Yeah.
I'm one of them.
Yeah, Jose's one of them. And then there's like 2 other dudes that I can think of that I'm like, that guy actually is happy.
Yeah.
And they don't have a
Huh.
substance abuse problem?
Yeah, no, they don't. Yeah.
Well, I do, but.
Yeah, Jose does. Never mind. All right, he's covering up for something. Anyway, the 5 jobs that make us the most miserable are a lot more common. Store clerk, cashier, janitor, machine feeder at a factory, and telemarketer.
Oh my god.
that would be a terrible job.
You just get screamed at all day
Telemarketer
long.
would be
And
horrible.
I can't imagine being I bet the managers at telemarketing jobs are even worse than the customers that you
Totally.
deal with.
The study also looked at which states are most satisfied with their jobs overall. Top 5 are Hawaii, Alaska, Wyoming, New Mexico, and West Virginia. In the last place, Massachusetts, followed by Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, and Oregon.
Oh,
Those are the least
sad.
satisfied people with their jobs.
Wow. Okay, everybody switch jobs.
Yeah.
I know someone
Switch.
Switch states.
who doesn't even work, but he's always very satisfied. This guy. That's the sound of an unemployed turtle humping a shoe, but he's still very happy. Which means Laser Stories has come to an end for the day. We'll do it again same time on Monday. 60 seconds away from your shock collar question of the day. It's Brooke and Jubal in the morning. But first, all over the country right now, millions of Americans are saying the same thing. They're saying, screw it. I'm not going to the gym anymore. That place is dumb.
Hey, that lasted a couple weeks.
And a lot of them are saying it with a mouthful of food, which is cool. And if you're feeling bad about giving up on your New Year's resolutions to get back in shape, I have just the thing to make you feel a little better about that.
Okay.
Because the hashtag fitness fail has been trending on Twitter with people sharing embarrassing stories about their failures when it comes to getting back in shape.
Okay.
Great.
So if you've given up on the gym already this year, then maybe this will cheer you up. One tweet said, I visited a health club and they took me on a tour of the facility. I was so dizzy at the end of the tour, they had to call 911. Hashtag fitness fail.
The walkthrough?
Oh
You didn't tell me they had stairs.
my God. Give me a towel.
Where's the escalator in this place? One girl tweeted, I was getting ready to go to the gym and I sprained my wrist putting on my sports bra. Hashtag
Oh, no.
fitness fail.
I will say, those things can be real tricky.
Really?
They're tight. You got to get them over your head sometimes. Your arm through at the same time. I feel her.
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
Another person said, I once fell asleep at the gym in the middle of doing sit-ups. When I woke up, the gym was empty and it was dark outside.
What?
Hashtag fitness fail.
Wow, I don't think you're doing it right.
Yeah.
If you can actually fall asleep.
If you're laying down that long and you can't do a sit-up, that you fall asleep,
Just get up. Bro.
yeah.
I will say I have fallen asleep at the end of yoga classes. They
Really?
do like the savasana where you just lay there, and I'm like, whoa, that feels nice.
Your chakra's all good right
Yeah,
now.
but I
Yeah.
wake up when they turn the lights back on. So
And one person tweeted, this year, I made a workout schedule for myself. I printed it out, and within 4 minutes, I already spilled pizza sauce on it. Hashtag fitness fail. So don't feel bad about not accomplishing your fitness goals. A lot of people are doing the same thing. Okay, let's get into the shot caller question of the day. Young Jeffrey has come in studio with a hat full of names. We'll draw a name out of the hat to see who will put on the shock collar today. They're asked a trivia question. If they get it right, they don't get shocked. Jeff does because he asked a terrible question. If they get it wrong, they get shocked to the song that you want us to sing. Text in at 78592. What song do you want to hear from the person who gets shocked today? Jose has drawn a name out of the hat, and who'd you get?
I got Jubal.
Me. Got the shock collar. And while I'm putting that on, Jeff, please read me the shock collar question of the day.
Oh,
there it
I was
is.
wondering what you were going to say there.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I never say the same thing twice.
No.
So.
I thought he just forgot actually in the middle. So
Big possibility.
yeah.
So back in 1943 during World War II, engineers at General Electric were attempting to make a cheaper alternative for rubber used on tank treads. After many failed experiments, nothing worked, but the scientists had no idea they'd accidentally invented a brand new product that would go on to sell multi-millions of dollars, and it's still sold to this day. What is it?
Oh, interesting. They're trying to make tank tracks.
Tank treads.
Treads, sorry.
So rubber.
Well, it's rubber like. I mean, my
Rubber-like.
first thought is, what if they accidentally made silicone?
When was it, Jeff?
1943.
43. Yeah, silicone. Condoms?
What?
Latex ones?
Latex condoms from tanks. I mean, I think you have a real big
Yeah.
idea of what you need, and I think that that's probably false, but okay.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Like, guys, you know
Yeah.
we could use
They're like, hey, this
for?"
isn't working for the tank treads, but let's try to put this somewhere else.
What about, you know how like Silly Putty started out as, what was it, like wallpaper
Yeah.
cleaner or something? Like bouncy balls, but they probably had them before.
I have a hint for you. The ingredients that they were experimenting with were silicone oil and boric acid.
Okay,
Boric acid.
silicone oil. That's too easy then. If it's, they already had
Like silicone plastic.
It had to be something hard, right?
Are we
No,
sure Silly
not
Putty
necessarily.
came from that?
I don't know if we're sure Silly Putty. Maybe Silly Putty. No, yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know what Silly Putty
I think
came
it was
from.
first marketed as a wallpaper cleaner, but maybe it was Silly Putty.
I know that
Silicon.
Oh, you're thinking about like the word silly, silicone.
boric acid. I know they use boric acid in like the slime that kids make.
Oh,
They
so
put
then
boric
it's-
acid in that, so it's some sort
So
of
it wouldn't be something hard to be
Nickelodeon slime.
What if it
Still
was?
used today.
What if it was Play-Doh?
Yeah, it has to be
Yeah.
something flexible, not hard.
Play-Doh. I'm going to go with Play-Doh because of the boric acid and the effects it has on slime.
Scientist Jubal
Yeah.
over here.
In 1943, engineers were trying to make a cheaper alternative for rubber tank treads. After testing out several rubber-like materials, they never found a legitimate substitute, but they did accidentally invent a brand new product that would go on to sell for millions of dollars all over the world.
Whoa.
The rubbery material they created was not strong enough for the military, but it was fun to play with in your hands. And today, children still enjoy a nice can of silly putties.
Silly putty.
Oh, it's close.
Close, very
Not the
close.
same.
My slime knowledge almost helped me out
Very
there.
impressive.
Yeah,
though.
thank you. All right. Here we go. Okay, and I got it wrong, and I was just handed the lyrics to Poison by Belle Biv DeVoe. I'll sing that before I get shocked. All right. It's driving me out of my mind. That's why it's hard for me to find. Can't get it out of my head. Miss her, kiss her, love her. Wrong move, you did. That girl is poor. Ow!
Oh, you were the whole band.
Trust the big button to smile. All right. Your phone tap's coming up in just a few minutes. It's Brooke and Jubal in the morning.
Phone tap.
Weekday mornings on the 20s.
Only on Moving 92.5.
This is Corey.
Corey, how you doing? This is Seth McElroy from Catering. I know you've been talking to Tim, but calling to finally get things going.
Thanks so much for calling. We're so glad that you're available.
Yeah, absolutely. I know it was a last-minute thing. I'm glad we had an opening in our schedule.
I'm so thrilled. We had a disaster with our previous caterer that we had scheduled and canceled on us, and it's just a nightmare.
Well, yeah, some of these guys can be flakes, you know. But hey, I know the event is tomorrow evening, right?
Yes, that's correct.
So I wanted to go over some last-minute details and just finalize everything for your menu.
Oh, please, I'd love to.
Okay, so I know that you've got about 20 people, and for appetizers, I was going to start you off with some spinach and cheddar Hot Pockets served with a delectable side of mayonnaise for dipping.
Did you say Hot Pockets and mayonnaise?
Yes, have you ever tried it? It's delicious.
I mean, are they gourmet, you know, like something different? Or
Well, have you ever had a Hot Pocket?
I have, actually, you know.
So, yeah, I would say that's pretty gourmet because those things are yummy.
You're actually talking about the Hot Pockets that I find in my local grocery store, right? Like,
Yeah, right there in the freezer section. Just want to make sure you know which ones you're getting.
I don't really think you read my email about what's going on here. I mean, this is a classy, upscale event.
Oh, yes, I know, and all of our people will be there with their uniforms neatly pressed and looking great, and the food is going to be spectacular.
While I really appreciate your staff being very presentable and formal, I don't want Hot Pockets served at my party.
Okay. Well, it's a good thing I called then. I'm glad we got that out of the way. We have more options than the Hot Pockets. Might I suggest pizza rolls, specifically Totino's?
You're not getting what I'm saying, dude. Like, I don't want stuff that I can find at my local grocery store in the freezer, you know? Like, I don't want that at my party.
Okay, well, all right, how about this? For the main course, I've prepared some microwave Velveeta mac and cheese, and I'd like to freshen the dish up a bit by tossing in some crushed Cheetos. Flaming hot.
Oh, my God.
Right? It was the Cheetos that put you over the top with that dish, wasn't it? It's kind of out of the box, I know, but we take risks.
What are you doing, man? You don't sound like a real caterer.
Well, excuse me. I take offense to that. I have trained under some of the best. I've seen every single episode of Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives at least 3 times with the great chef Guy Fieri. So I consider myself trained by him.
Are you kidding me, man? Like, you're not a caterer because you watch TV shows.
Well, you know what? Okay, if you don't understand culinary greatness when you hear it, then I'm going to have to pull out of the event. And you know what? I'm not surprised the other catering company left you too.
You're a moron. You know that?
Well, excuse me.
All you do is go to the grocery store and pick up and throw it on a platter.
That is not true. I also go to 7-Eleven and bring Slurpees.
You should not be in business. You should not be a caterer. Don't you dare call yourself a chef.
Okay, well, I won't call myself a chef because I'm not one.
Yeah, no
Right, yes, no, I'm actually the master of the prank phone call and a very marginal radio host.
What?
This is actually Jubal from Brooke and Jubal in the morning doing a phone tap on you. Your buddy Mike set you up.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
He said that you were stressed about hosting this dinner party and you wanted everything to be perfect.
You had me going nuts, man. Like, you're giving me frozen friggin' Totino. Like, who is this weirdo, man?
You didn't even give me an opportunity to get to the hamburger helper. I think, you're really being a snob.
Wake up every morning with Jubal phone tabs. Weekday mornings on the 20s.
Only on Moving 92.5.
Going for 16. Win number 16 today, Brooke, and you're going to be playing Tracy in Monroe, which also would make a cool name. Tracy Monroe. That's a sounding name. What's up, Tracy?
Good morning.
Yeah, you found your new name. You just get it switched, Tracy?
I did. I think I'm going to have it legally changed.
Yeah, I like it.
I know. It sounds like a movie star name.
It does.
Yeah.
Tracy Monroe, starring in the latest rom-com.
I feel like she's going to be a Lifetime star, though, with Lifetime TV,
Dude,
which is great.
Lifetime movies are awesome.
Yeah.
And they pay still, so there
Yeah.
Congratulations, Tracy, on your new career we just figured out for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
All right, we're sending Brooke out of the studio. Tracy, you know how the game is played. You got 30 seconds to answer as many questions as possible. If you don't know one, just say pass, and you have to beat Brooke outright to win, okay?
Okay.
All right, here we go. Your time starts now. The number one selling beer in the world is called Snow, and it's sold exclusively in what Asian country?
Japan.
James Hetfield is the lead singer of what famous rock band?
Pass.
At what age in your 30s have you officially been alive for 1 billion seconds?
35.
Is rhubarb a fruit or a vegetable?
Vegetable.
USA is second, but with 84 million tourists a year, what is the most visited country in the world?
China.
Which color of bell pepper is the ripest, green, yellow, or red?
Green.
Got that in on time. How do you feel about your answers there, Tracy?
Okay. We'll see.
Yeah? Tracy, let me ask you a question.
I'm ready.
Can I do it? Can I ask you a question?
I'm ready.
Okay, that wasn't the question I wanted to ask. The question I wanted to ask was, have you ever been in a car accident?
I have, Jubal, yes.
And how'd you feel? Not fun, right?
No, it hurt.
It did. And let me tell you something. You know what else hurts?
What?
What the insurance companies will try to do to you. It
Yeah.
hurts a lot. It's not
Yes, it
fun.
does.
And that's why, Tracy, if you're in a car accident again, now you know that you should call my friends at Advocates Law. It's advocateslaw.com, 206-512-3555. That should be your first phone call if you get in a car accident, because they'll make sure the insurance companies can't do that bad thing to you that they want to do.
Good to know.
Yes, great to know.
Very good.
206-512-3555. Get confused with the radio station phone number because I say that one all the time too. Anyway, 206-512-3555, online, advocateslaw.com. I'm glad we had that talk. And Brooke is back in studio with her headphones on. You ready to go?
Yes.
All right. Your time starts now. The number one selling beer in the world is called Snow, and it's sold exclusively in what Asian country?
China.
James Hetfield is the lead singer of what famous rock band?
AC/DC.
At what age in your 30s have you officially been alive for 1 billion seconds?
35.
Is rhubarb a fruit or a vegetable?
Vegetable.
USA is second, but with 84 million tourists a year, what is the most visited country in the world?
Spain.
Which color of bell pepper is the ripest, green, yellow, or red?
Red.
Same amount of questions. Let's send it on over to the scoreboard and see how you guys did with Jose
Who told you you can eat my cookies?
Bolaños.
Tracy, you're a movie star now, but you only got one correct today in the game.
Okay.
It's all right. Don't have to be smart to be a movie star.
Brooke?
Yep.
Same amount of questions and 3 correct.
Bye.
Sorry, Tracy. No monies.
Not today.
Nope, not today. Brooke does get her 16th win in a row, and who needs money when you have a budding film career ahead of you? Let's go over the
That's right.
answers. The number one selling beer in the world is called Snow, and it's sold exclusively in China. James Hetfield is the lead singer of Metallica.
Oh, it's close. I couldn't think of it.
At age 32, you've officially been alive for 1 billion seconds. Is rhubarb a fruit or a vegetable? It's a vegetable. USA is second, but with 84 million tourists a year, the most visited country in the world, France. What color of bell pepper is the ripest, green, yellow, or red? Red. Green peppers are unripe, yellow are almost ripe, and red are the sweetest and most ripe pepper
Like a tomato.
that you can get.
I feel like that was really a
I
sensual
didn't know
pepper
that.
description. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Tracy, you didn't win the money, but just for playing today, you won a Clipper Vacations getaway to Victoria, BC on the Clipper.
Awesome.
Yep, Victoria is magical during this time of year. Visit the Bouchard Gardens and don't forget to do some shopping and have afternoon tea like a queen. Okay, go to clippervacations.com. Or a movie star, yeah. Go to clippervacations.com for more information. Thank you for playing, and we'll play Winbrook's Bucks same time on Monday.
Move at night.
Hi, everybody.
Oh. You're getting a little saucy today, Sage.
Latin flavor.
I found you, oh na na. Ran through the park, but then I caught you, oh la la. I'll take you back to my cabana, oh na na. Cover your eyes with a bandana. Just let Sagey have at ya. A nibble, nom nom nom. Hi everyone.
Wow.
Or should I say hola?
I'm impressed.
It's me, Senior Sage Willowbrooke.
Oh, senor.
And for some reason, I'm interested in some spicy treats this weekend.
Okay.
Who knows what's on the menu?
Yeah.
Maybe a little enchiladas?
Enchilada.
Perhaps a chimichanga. I like chimichangas. Or if I'm really lucky, maybe I can get my hands on a crispy, cheesy quesadilla. I like quesadillas a lot.
I was okay with the Jimmy Chongas or whatever, but no.
I wonder
the visual.
who's gonna wander onto my plate this weekend. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Until then, though, thank you for letting me sing my songs every Friday. And Young Jeffrey's Song of the Week is coming up at 8:10. And the loser line might satisfy my appetite.
Hopefully.
So let's try that, because the loser line is coming up right after this.